Peace family, it's your boy Fonzie. It's April the 19th, 2022, and you tapped in with the DOA TBM Direct Time Black Man Podcast. And we joined this week with a guest from the United States, Los Angeles, joining us from the West Coast. What's good, fam?
What's good, UK? What's popping? What's goody, man? Cold thing. Cold
Cold
thing.
thing. It's a cold game. I mean, just after the record, we were just talking about some cold situations, which we'll get into in the future in a different kind of aspect. But it definitely leads credence to the conversation what we're going to be having this time around, which is discussing something that's definitely being thrown around a lot in modern media, social media, and different forums. And it's the concept of narcissism, people identifying others as narcissists, where we're looking at this now, and there seems to be an influx of a lot of people asking the question: do narcissists call other people narcissists? Because a lot of people who are throwing around the term could be attributed with having some of the same traits. So we're going to be discussing this. We got Floss on here. We're going to be talking some stuff outside of music, but I guess it ties in with music somewhat.
Man, I feel the same way. Ever since this word has come out, like I've been seeing a lot of people throwing, he's a narcissist. I mean, my boyfriend, he's a narcissist, and he's by himself. But it's a fine line to it because it could be someone that is very sure of themselves, a person that be. So if you don't count your accomplishments and all that type of stuff, who will? You know what I'm saying? Like some people, they take it. I think they take it to an extreme to where a narcissist to me is a person that just don't give a fuck about nobody but themselves, and that's it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like they're talking third person. You ever seen somebody that talking third person? Like that's a narcissist to me. A lot of the people that haven't accomplished anything or haven't done a lot are most of the people that call other people narcissists, I feel.
Okay, I mean, it's definitely an interesting slice on it, and there's so many different degrees in this concept of narcissism and stuff as we've explored. But just looking at even this quote we see on Quora, it says the narcissist lives a double life. Their public image is almost impeccable. They seduce with their fake charm and friendliness. Behind closed doors, they are snake-like, nasty and devious. They are nasty. They are master manipulators who have the evil capacity of destroying lives. So we want to kind of explore this because I think oftentimes we see, like you said, this be thrown at guys and stuff, and sometimes we see thrown at females. As of recent times, we've seen the whole Will Smith scenario and saga, which has led a lot of people online attributing what they feel is that kind of trait or characteristics from Jada Pinkett Smith, where they feel that Will Smith is a victim of narcissistic abuse. I did do a study on here. Well, it was not so much of a study, but we studied and explored some of this concept with Dr. Rena Megastar and Syra Qureshi, but was able to get sort of a female vantage point. Us now as guys being able to sort of explore this. Do you feel that this is a thing that guys can be affected by narcissistic abuse from women, and what traits can we identify as that?
If that's the case, a lot of the women are narcissistic. Like if that's the case,
Let's just
women
put it that way.
most women are about themselves. But the definition that you just showed on the word, it added more stuff to than what I thought a narcissist is, and so it's like basically they have this image in front of other people,
Yeah.
but behind closed doors, there's somebody else, or it's like basically that's fake, being fake. You know what I'm saying? Basically being fake. Uh, there's nothing worse than when you meet someone or you listen to someone's music or you watch someone's movies and you love them. It's like you watch them so much or you hear them so much that somewhat you feel like you know them. Like if you met them in person, or you don't even have to meet them in person, you feel like you already know them. You know what I'm saying? And then all of a sudden when you meet them, they are not that. It's just like a disappointment. Like, you know what I'm saying? But if that's what a narcissist is, then um, it's a lot of people that's like that. That's hella fake. Like, oh, I give to the blacks, and oh, I give to the, oh, I do this, and the Negro College Fund, and NAACP, and then you a whole bunch of, what I'm saying, N words and all kind of derogatory things behind closed doors. Yeah, I know a bunch of people like that.
Oh yeah, and I think even just to touch on that, in modern society, we do see a lot of that. I mean, I can lean from some of my own experiences. Even personally, I was involved in the past with relationships with women who I would attribute to be narcissists, which I didn't necessarily realize at the time because my lack of understanding of some of
Right,
the mindset. Like I always knew there was a sense of disingenuity, like but I'm one of those types of people. I'm always trying to. I'm a problem solver. If I can fix a problem, I'm gonna try and fix it. Now, some problems you cannot fix, and that's why I've realized even within the narcissist, this isn't like a problem you can fix. So let's say you come across somebody that might, and we all have our shortcomings and stuff.
right,
So you come across somebody with their shortcomings in one area, you try to help develop it. A narcissist is often somebody who would feign to have a shortcoming in a particular area to manipulate or seduce their target to come in, but in in the public they want to keep a certain type of image or perception of but it's all built on falsities. It's all built on manipulation. There's not really much new.
right. See, now I'm seeing what the real somewhat definition of that is. And now that you say that, I know a bunch of people like that. Like, for instance, uh, there'll be a person who is an artist and he has everything and he has a bunch of friends around him and he pays for them and all of that. He pays for them and makes everybody seem like he is the good person. He is the generous he's the oh, you know what I'm saying? But behind closed doors, he's charging you. He's taking, you know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? Or it's really your money, but he's taking it and he's making himself look me, the narcissist. I'm the one that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm the big dog. I'm the person, and these are all my friends, and they're all around me, and I keep them around me to make me feel like, I don't know. I know a bunch of people like that.
Yeah, I think especially when we look at the industry. Probably they'll get my juice right quick. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Sometimes they make you thirsty, like when you talk about this type of
Get that
shit. You
drive
be like,
off. Keep the juice out of that. One day I'm gonna have my brand. I'll promote it or something. But
no, so I'm talking about this topic. This topic. Sometimes this topic, when you talk about shit like this, that make you have to drink something like shit.
yeah, but I think this is something we've explored. As within the industry, especially the media industry and modern media, that's built solely a lot on people. Very much ego driven and try to establish, who they are and all that stuff. And like you said, there's a lot of people that want to establish their identity and they've got this and they've got that. They've got, people around them that they want to project. A lot of it is rooted in projection, but when you strip it down to a deep sense, there's a lot of lack within these people, oftentimes where there's stuff that they lack. Sometimes they've been through a lot themselves that they haven't really processed the right way, but their way to deal with it is
A lot of lackluster, insecure, weak-minded, fair weather friend, plastic, see-through ass MFs. I'll
well,
put it to you like that, like that.
here's the thing, and here's the thing though, you're right. And we can see through a lot of them, but sometimes it can be hard to detect them because even looking at these quotes here from these people's comments on Quora, somebody said, my husband accused me of being a covert narcissist since a few months back. I can recognize some traits in me, like I am sneaky and I do have a tendency to lie about certain things. And I also have been passive aggressive on occasion. I do believe my father to be a narcissist and my mom BPD, I believe bipolar disorder. Nevertheless, I've tried to analyze myself for further symptoms and I tend to be more on the doormat side of things. I do not insult people's feelings or make fun of anybody, etc., etc. And he said, my husband on the other side does put me down all the time. It's like he doesn't see any positive in me, always claims he knows what I'm thinking, why I do things, and says I'm doing them on purpose to mess with him. He feels I don't love anybody but myself. He has told me to my face, my family does not love me and I'm not human. He says, I don't have any interests or talents. He says, have it so. So here we see an example from a woman here who's saying, okay, well, my
Damn.
husband calls me a narcissist, but in fact, he's the one who's
He sounds like right. He sounds like anybody that sit up and have a drum roll or brrr, and they just going on and on and on and on about you. That's a narcissist to me.
But here's the thing, and this is from the question where people say, from their personal experience, narcissists are quick to label other people as narcissists. And I think that's something that we see quite a lot, especially oftentimes nowadays. I won't
Right.
say too much, but I did a podcast at one point, and I featured some guests on it, and somebody who was completely unrelated to those guests and would have only have potentially seen some of the stuff via myself, made it their way to do some stuff with them themselves, and it was rooted in a similar conversation where they was pretty much spending the conversation talking about their own experiences and how they are more so a victim of narcissism. But in actuality, me knowing them personally, I know that they're actually narcissistic themselves in their own characteristics and ways. But that's something that they would probably never get when they come across people now. As a female, they will project it onto guys. Any guy they meet, X, Y, Z. Oh, he's a narcissist. Oh, he's this, he's that. But
Right. They throwing around too quick.
and they will admit to being a victim of it, but some of them don't realize through that victimhood they've developed some of the same traits and characteristics themselves, which they didn't.
A narcissist to me is a person. A narcissist to me, a narcissist to me is somebody that will just want to tell you all about their problems and all their stuff, and when you talk about yours, they don't want to hear it.
How many of those have you met?
A gang of people. It's a gang of people like that. It's a gang of people like that. Man, I just know a gang of people like that. They just want to tell you about all their shit, and then when you want to tell you about their shit, they don't want to hear about it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's a narcissist to me. A person who down another person's situation. You know what I'm saying? Down another person's situation. If they're trying, I can see if they're down in a situation and it's a bad situation that's getting worse and nobody's trying to fix it. But when somebody is trying and a person is downing, that's a narcissist to me too.
What it says here, does the narcissist description of you actually make a good description of the narcissist? Welcome to the wonderful world of projection. So we see there, that's what is it's often a trick that's used by them. They project what they're actually like onto somebody else. So it kind of goes back to their insecurity and not dealing with themselves and their own sort of issues and
to take the focus off them, to take the focus off them. They rather talk about somebody else and what their problem is, and they on drugs, and he eating up all the hot dogs from the kids and all that type of shit.
And if they talk about their self, it always has to be in the capacity of how good they are, or what a nice person they are, and
right, or a nice person. And people told me, you have a good heart and you're golden and all this old type of shit. I ain't never heard none of these people say that shit.
Yep. That's the
that's the narcissist.
They sing from that song sheet a lot. I mean, people out there definitely in the comments let us know any of your experience with narcissism stuff. I know we're being quite lighthearted on this and another aspect, but we're definitely dealing with a serious issue and topic, because even to kind of get back to the Will Smith thing, and where people have said, for instance, what he had been through with Jada. There was a clip that recently resurfaced when she was filming him online, and
right.
said, I'm not kind of cool with it. We see how she sat him down with the August stuff. We see even the look she gave him, just the ways that people. I know we're looking from the outside, but people are saying those characteristics and traits that she's probably exuded, have had an effect.
She had to do that.
To health and stuff too.
She had to do it. She was filming him because who is she? You feel me? She's really living in his life. She ain't really made no big movies lately or nothing like that. I ain't trying to down a sister. I'm trying to down another black woman. But the fact of it is that she knew all along what she was doing, and he knew what he was doing. She was doing.
Yeah, but like, he said himself. He said his social media is his birth. That's how he does it. And we spoke about this before previously on a different podcast when I said Will Smith hadn't even been on social media prior. Like he was
Mm-hmm.
actually, and when he did make his appearance on social media, it was always, you know,
Some funny shit, like
funny
some
stuff or
funny,
positive posts,
right?
really, like, so I'm not saying she dragged him into that. So he did, so he still has the right to say, I mean, let's keep it a buck. I mean, even if I'm with a female, for instance, she kind of be running upon me, filming and that like that. Some people might call me say I'm a caveman or something. I'm there, yeah, right, but
Right, we don't know him as this. See, when you had a PR, when you had a PR person, or you had a person that did all that, you came to them, and then you presented all the stuff that you wanted to leak out. But now everybody has cameras on their phone. Everybody is so much quicker to the police don't even have to do their job. Nobody really has to even do their job because all you got to do is sit back and watch somebody slip up and film or put you in an uncompromising position. Everybody know they can do all kind of crazy shit with video and make it look like when it's really not like. It's so a lot of things that go on with this, and so you can see he really wasn't comfortable with it. He's like, why are you filming me? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we at home, like, aren't we on camera enough? You know what I'm saying? When I come home, I don't want to be involved in none of this type of shit in my uncompromising positions, or, when I'm just coming out the bathroom from taking a shit, or, you know what I'm saying? Anything, looking sweaty, or my beard not right, my beard not cut right, or my hairline didn't went back a little bit and I ain't had time to go fix it, or whatever the case may be. You feel me? But I'm just saying, like, when you go to this type of, when you go to the show, you going to the show, so you prepared to go to the show. You have your tailor, you have your stylist, you have your people. You could cut your hair the way you want to. So when you get seen on camera, you seen in a way that you want to be seen, and you feel cool. Nobody want to see Will Smith with the German Shepherd. You know what I'm saying? The beard and all that shit, unless it's all the way cut like we normally used to seeing Will, clean cut. You know what I mean? Clean cut, not one hair out of place, all that type of shit. Mill Smith, that's what I'm talking about, the nigga with the paper, Mill Smith. But at the same time, when you see him in different positions, like, when somebody, and then the look on her face when she was filming it was looking scary and spooky to
yeah,
me.
definitely. She was like, yeah, she did. She had a look of sort of like entitlement, but still a bit like, she was running with it.
She
She
was looking
wasn't.
devilish. She
She
was looking
wasn't.
like she was up to something. Let's get to the real Will.
Yeah, she wasn't really, considering his feelings and such like that. Not to get too
Right.
emotive, but I guess that would be what people would consider like a narcissistic trait. Then in that aspect of having an ulterior motive to what she was doing, whether it was to boost her numbers or whatever
That's
it
all it
was.
was.
It
What
was
do
it was
when she
being
had Red Table
used.
Talk
It's like
before
it was
Will?
being used as an
Go ahead.
object, in that sense.
But before Will got on there, what was she really talking about that everybody was interested in? Bullshit. No, nobody really was looking to that. Now that she was like, somebody had got in her ear, like, listen, you married to Will. You need to be turning it up. Let's see Will in an uncompromising position. Let's see Will coming out the bathroom with a piece of toilet paper coming out his ass. Anything. You know what I'm saying? Let's catch him, you know what I mean, to where it's going to boost, because she tired of not having no career. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, she tired of not really having no career, and not really having nobody talking about Jada Pinkett Smith like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why he was like, well shit. He ain't no telling what was said beforehand before he slapped her. He was like, oh, but you really want to be famous again? Watch this. You want to be famous? Share this with me. He thought it was going to go a certain way, and it went a whole nother way. So,
Yeah, it definitely went to a different dynamic.
yeah, it
I'd
went a
say,
whole nother way.
yeah, I'd say it went to a different dynamic, man, and you know, hopefully, Will gets to find some restitution after these events. Some people say he shouldn't be lambasted as much as he is, but more seen as a victim of circumstance within, just the whole melee of things that have been going on in his personal life and stuff like that too. So you know, I guess we've explored this. I got a few images up, just breaking down some of this stuff about how to cope and deal with narcissists. Setting boundaries, advocating for yourself. creating healthy distance and not taking it personally, realizing that these people are sometimes just wired that way. There's not too much you could do to change
They
them.
human.
You know, debatable, but yeah, they're human. They're different. They have a different variety.
They
You know,
human, bro. They
yeah,
human. You know.
they have a different variety. And the thing is, we can all exhibit some of these, traits and characteristics in different ways. But I think what ultimately makes it an issue is intention, like most things. And it's, those people that are really intentions behind it. Like it tells you in the scripture, some people were estranged from the womb and they were speaking lies as soon as they were born. So, some people are just reared and geared a certain type of way. And I think even narcissists is like that. There's different characteristics and traits, many different types of people that make up the world, but they're not healthy people to be around, and they can be very dangerous, especially if they feel they need to protect their, their false image and
Right.
stuff
Their
like that.
image, their
A lot of
family,
them
their
would do,
image.
yeah, a lot of them would do anything to protect that, even kill and stuff like that too. So
But
it's
bruh, but
something
the
we
thing
should
that made
avoid.
it the thing that made it so magnetized was this wasn't the Grammys. This wasn't the American Music Awards. This wasn't even the Soul Train Lady of Soul Awards. This wasn't even none of that. This is the Oscars. You understand? Like the Emmys and the Tonys and this the big shit. You know what I'm saying? And they did this. I mean, you gonna forever, because no one in the history of the Oscars has ever done anything of such. So, you know, and it had to be a black person. That's why I'm saying at the end of the day, we knew when that shit happened, the first day it happened, me and you had spoke. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, this shit about to change. This shit about to
Most definitely.
change.
I mean, so before we wind down on that note, because
This shit about to change.
yeah, before we wind off that note, do you feel as though then, because I guess we got to ask from the other flip side, because I don't want people saying we biased or female bashing or anything like that. Do you feel with those actions that Will exhibited, does that make him then a narcissistic person because he didn't consider the people in the crowd? He did, or was it just? Do you think it was more of a one shot thing that he just acted?
I feel like it was like some extra shit that was going on at the house that been going on, and it was. Um, I feel like it was something that had been going on at the house, and that moment was something that was so impulsive that he like, well, if I felt like I was gonna hear something at the house before, I'm really about to hear something at the house this time. You know what I'm saying? I got to get up and go do something. And if Chris Rock was the person that had the platform that I had to go do this shit on, then so be it. But the fact of it is that we all saw that at first when he bust that joke out, they was all laughing. He was laughing. And then that's where the narcissistic part came in, is when she smirked and then she was displeased. You understand? Oh, the joke is about me. It had to be a bald head joke. So what? You made the joke bigger than it was by having that look, knowing that you had this man like a puppet at the house and all kind of shit going on to where he felt like he not a man. You feel what I'm saying? So he went and did that, and now look what happened. And then she turned around like, shit, I told you to. You
Yeah,
know what I'm
I
saying?
believe she said she wasn't happy with him doing that, and she can fight her own battles or
She
something to
guess
that.
what though? Narcissists ain't happy with nothing.
Oh, you can't please them. Yeah, you can never
You
please
can't
them.
please them. So even though he did that for her, she still wasn't pleased. That goes to say that guess what? You're unpleasable.
They can only please themselves for a period of time, and I think that's one thing that a lot of people don't
And
realize.
sometimes they can't even please themselves.
Well, I
You
mean,
heard what
it's
you heard what she
yeah,
said. She had a
it's not
sex
that.
addiction. She had a sex addiction. Just imagine if you have a sex addiction and everybody knows who you are and you really can't get it off the way you really want to. You feel what I'm saying? Because everywhere you look, everywhere you go, somebody is there looking with a camera ready to snap, and you can't get it off like you was when you really wasn't nobody. When you into the nobody, you can go bang and do whatever you want to go do. You feel what I'm saying? But at the case now is that
It's hard.
everybody knows
It's
who
harder
she
for
is.
them to find a new supply
A
because
new
a lot
boy
of the
toy,
time
or so they
they,
have to be
they
a
need a
total
supply.
nobody.
Yeah, especially when it comes to sex, they have a sexual supply a lot of times.
That's why they be having the confidentiality agreements and all this type of things because people is rotten and people will do certain things and they know this. You know what I'm saying? And they know this. So, you know, I just feel like that's whack.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she shouldn't take that out on Will Smith. They need to get a divorce. Shit.
Yeah, facts. I mean, we won't get too much into those guys, especially, especially as their relationship is quite open
They'll
and
work it
public.
out. Everybody talking about this
Yeah,
public display. They'll work it out. At the end of the day, I hope they do work it out. But still in all, I just feel like the narrative that we're speaking about is narcissist,
oh
and that
yeah,
was a
and we
true
it
and that's a
ties
true
in because
form of it.
it can be tough, and we can look at it from that aspect. Just for people out there who might have similar experiences and stuff, it can be hard to just breaking off a relation with a narcissist because sometimes you don't know till it's late to the end point. So
Right,
and even just you may have invested a lot emotionally in because if you're a sincere person and you've been sincere about your intentions and stuff, but the other person hasn't, it could be harder for you sometimes to then detach, and sometimes they throw different things out, monkey wrenches, and
right.
they got different little things, so it can be difficult, and but I think even the way we've explored it, I think there's definitely signs of people using the label in the wrong way, and oftentimes people just wanted to use it to just like throw shade on others. Where, like we said, oftentimes they exude some of the characteristics themselves, and I think that's definitely quite interesting and stuff as we look at it. We know there's tons of information online where people can find support if they've been a victim of any kind of narcissistic abuse, and ways that you can look at spotting the traps and some of the key characteristics of these people and stuff like that. So you can kind of keep yourself abreast of just ways to be on point, just tips of just how to maneuver and work with people because some of us just live lives, but there's other people out here that really they wear a mask and they study how to manipulate others and stuff like that. So
Right.
it could be good just from a psychological aspect, just to be wise on the different characteristics of people. Because like Floss said, it's still a part of human nature. People are still human in one aspect. We may see them as horrible people, we may see them as monsters, but oftentimes they're humans who have been through some probably troubling things themselves that have reared them
Right.
that kind of way and have got their issues and stuff. But I think we can agree that narcissism is whack. We don't
It is.
because of the fake aspect of it. We got to label it as whack, man.
Yeah, word. It is. It's whack. But like you just said, you never know why. Sometimes you look at a person as being a narcissist or whatever, but not the fact that they are one, but why? How did they become that? Why did they become that? Because they went through something. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of times it's insecurity or self doubt, and so them doing that is making them feel like, if nobody else is gonna big me up, I'm gonna big myself up. And sometimes you have to be like that in a
Yeah,
world,
sometimes you
in a world that's doubtful and a lot of naysayers and people that say that you can't do it. Man, you can't do it. Man, you can't do it. I don't know why you keep trying to do that. You can't do it. You can't do it. You're not gonna do it. I hope you don't do it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's all it turns out to be. I hope you don't do it. You
I
know what I'm
think
saying? So
I think the wackest thing, to me with the narcissist is because, like, just to go back to the intention of stuff is, for the most part, they don't want to change, their errant ways. They'll find any other excuses sometimes to project onto other people, to this, that, talk about what's been done to them or the problems
leopard
they
don't change their spots,
and
man.
and that's what sometimes that's what it is. As you said, the leopard don't change its spots.
Leopard don't change their spots, man. People be setting their ways, and and that's what it is. Sometimes people be setting their ways, but something may come and change them, or if not. But if you can't deal with it, you know what I'm saying. If you ain't with it, then shit, get your ass on. Do what you got to go do. Go do what you got to go do. If you because if you can't have two narcissists, you could have one, but you can't have two. And a relationship is not gonna work. Somebody gonna have to be the boss. Somebody gonna have to be the king, queen, and some people just have to just learn to play their positions, and that's it. That's all.
Yeah, that's it right there. So, with that being said, we're gonna tune things out on this one. Do let us know your thoughts and stuff in the comments if you had any experiences similarly, or any thoughts, or if you want to knowledge us up on some stuff, drop some comments and let us know. Anybody who's been affected by any narcissism, victims of narcissistic abuse, like I said, there's a lot of information and stuff you can find out there where you can get support and stuff as well too. So I think that's always important. So this is fans from the UK chiming in with Floss.
Yeah, man, I'm out here via satellite, man, out here in Vegas, hot ass Vegas right now. But I feel like everybody got a little bit of narcissism, cissus in them. And if you don't, you should. I think a little bit of everything, a little sprinkle of everything, being humble, being a narcissist, being giving, and sometimes taking. Sometimes you have to know when to take, because if you don't take, nobody's gonna give it to you. You know what I'm saying? So you have to put a little bit of a little spice like a gumbo in each little space. But just to be a full narcissist, if it wasn't about me, a pat on the back ass nigga, like if it wasn't for me, man, you gotta let other people say if it wasn't for you instead of you say if it wasn't for you. You know what I mean? Don't do things as you say at the kindness of your heart, and then turn around and then throw it up in people's face. If you did it because you could do it, and it's from the kindness of your heart. Let that be that, and that's that. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. It's big up to everybody out there. Salute.
Yep, that's real, man. And as you said, man, that's just how it should be. And you know, yeah, I think we can't really, I think we'll come back next time and explore it from a different vantage point because
Right.
there is that notion that you just made where it's having where it's necessary or it can be useful to have certain traits or aspects from a different, because we know there's always polarities, so there's always two sides to everything. So
Oh yeah.
it's just like sometimes you gotta be the person to blow your own trumpet in a different kind of aspect. And
Who gonna
this is
blow it
where
for you?
these things can be mislabeled and stuff, but we can definitely explore that on a different one.
We
But
gonna go to other. We gonna get on the other side next time, and we gonna talk about it from the narcissist's point of view. Like, why should you be this way? Because if not, ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. Everybody gonna shit on you and step on you, and you have to be like, okay. But when you take it too far, like if it wasn't for me, like, come on, man. Like, after a while, people are not gonna want to hear that. You know what I mean? But at the same time, let other people speak about your big ups and the stories about you. Sometimes you have to speak about these stories so people can resurrect these people to talk about it. But don't be all about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Share.
yeah, and keep it real, man.
Yep. All right, Fonz. Gone, G.
Yeah,